Orikasan faced the ocean with a tingling sense of dread of which, all day, she could not shake nor pinpoint its center. It was small, barely noticeable, like a small cut in the crease of the knuckle to be forgotten at first distraction. But every time her eyes caught the glassy sea, sniffed the iodine on the gentle caress of the winds, saw the curtain of setting sunlight between ocean and cloudy sky, it would return. Perhaps an instinctual foresight to an oncoming storm? A great hurricane to push against the settlement of Topaz Harbor. Pirates coming down the coast. Her head swayed the more she considered it, sneering. It didn't sit right with her. Storms were frequent on the southwestern coast, plus the village had Doppler radars to forewarn and satellite interfaces for greater predictions. Rains came and went without warning or convenience. Hurricane season was months out. Also, her uncle would have mentioned it by now, dedicated to weather watching and complaining about a barometric pressure antagonizing his knee and ankle. It seemed to be a popular hobby of older folks. And the pirates gave up when Topaz Harbor added the guns to their perimeter buoys, their boats sitting at the bottom of the bay. She leaned against the railing, long scoured with rust and flaking old paint. The waves crashed against the wall just beneath her feet, where crustaceans scuttled and scurried across the sand and stone where it met concrete and steel. The cerulean surf rolled with entrancing symmetry, rhythmic to the winds pushing shoreward. Orikasan closed her eyes, relishing the quiet few moments in the warmth of the late afternoon rays. The smell of salt water, the residuals of the fishery downwind, dinner on the stove, the pungent air of vegetation of the surrounding jungles captivated her senses. A loud crash of the waves called to her imagination, produced a desire to dip her toes into surf and sand. She lamented leaving when the season of sipping cold beer and building sand castles with idle hands was about to begin. The oyster boys would soon be making rounds with their buckets of fresh shellfish and hot sauce. She thought of her friends and her man, Isicast. She would miss their long nights together. But her reveries came to an abrupt halt when she heard the sickening snap. A hiss of releasing pressure was accompanied by a bubbling staccato and the ensuing bitter curses from her uncle, working the garage just a few paces behind her. Her uncle shouted, a caustic howl from where he sat hurrying to repair their tractor for the long haul ahead of them. That fanatical last-minute hurrying likely